are coming to you from Comerica Park in Detroit, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, and our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, and the Detroit Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. As we get set to bring you the first of this three-game set. As you know, we lost 2 out of 3 there in Minnesota, so we come in here. And the trade deadline was yesterday at 3 o'clock Eastern, so that's passed. Rick Hahn held on to his top 2 guys in rotation at the deadline, but he did acquire another lefty bat.
It's a guy with some speed. Charlie Tilson can run. There's no doubt about that. He's going to be able to steal some bases. He hits a whole lot of triples, doubles, and this is a guy that makes contact. That's the best part about him. He can also go get him in center field. So as you can see, at AAA Memphis, he hit 282. The rest of the numbers very good. So we'll see tonight. This is a huge center field, and although they had a couple of pitchers they could have traded, they didn't because the deals just weren't right. We'll see if this deal was the right one with Zach Duke going to the Cardinals. The thing I like about it is Cardinal organization has always been pretty good, and it looks like this guy fits right into that.
Well, sometimes the best deals you make are the ones you don't make, and in that case, we'll have to hope that with Sale and Quintana is the case. But these Tigers, since the last time we saw them, which hadn't been that long ago, they don't want to run.
Last week they've been doing real well. They've won 6 games in a row. The batting average is up over 300. Runs per game, 7.5. You see the hits, the home runs, the overall ERA, which is very good. The bullpen ERA, and that was a trouble spot at one point, but it's at 165. So they're taking a run at it. They're 4 games back of Cleveland. Cleveland just had Danny Salazar go on the disabled list, and Detroit thinks they got a chance.
And big game James Shields out on that bump for the 7th straight quality start.
He's doing real well. Big James Shields is doing as good as you could possibly be doing. Each and every time out, he gives you a quality start. And even though it's just 3-3 in the last 6, the ERA 171, yet he'll go deep into the ball game. He gets the ball over the plate. Opponent's batting average just 209, so he's found whatever it was he was missing. Anibal Sanchez, last time out, speeded up his delivery. As you can see, he got touched up early, especially with Adam Eaton hitting the 3-run home run. He pitched 6 innings. He gave up 10 hits and 4 earned runs. He didn't walk anybody. That was a good sign. This is a guy that's not overpowering any longer. They gave him a great deal of money. They're hoping that he can fill a void in their starting rotation. If he can do that, then the Tigers think they've found something.
Well, the Sox were able to even up that series back home with back-to-back walk-off game winners. So tonight, Robin and crew look for 3 in a row against these Tigers. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
On CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to beautiful Comerica Park in Detroit. As our Sox take on the Tigers tonight. The Tigers, winners of 6 in a row, and they're sitting right there 4 games in back of the Indians. For them, it's a huge series, and the Sox looking to get back in this, want to take advantage of a struggling pitcher on the hill. So let's take a look at how Robin is going to line them up tonight. It's our Kia starting lineup. It's Adam Eaton leading it off with Tim Anderson in the 2 spot, then Melky Cabrera, who's been hitting everything in sight. Jose Abreu, Justin Morneau, the DH tonight, Todd Frazier, Deanna Navarro, Charlie Tilson coming over from the St. Louis organization, getting his first at bat, and Tyler Saladino at second base, hitting 9th. The Honda City defensive setup for these Tigers. Justin Upton, Cameron Maven, and Tyler Collins in the outfield. Andrew Romine getting the start at third base, along with Jose Iglesias, Ian Kinsler, and Miguel Cabrera. James McCann behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Anibal Sanchez. We did see him in Chicago. He threw it okay, got off to a tough start early, gave a 3-run homer to Adam Eaton. His record, 5-11, the ERA above 6.5, and he will throw a whole lot of long balls. The umpires for the game tonight: John Tom Payne behind the plate, Alan Porter at first, Brian Onora at second, and the crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. Adam Eaton is ready to step in and look at the first pitch of the ball game, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the first of this 3-game set. And as Steve just mentioned, it is a big one, especially for the Tigers. As first pitch of the ball game taken by Adam Eaton for a strike. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. That's up high. Eaton comes in at 271. 8 homers, 37 driven in. And he's had good success. Good success against Sanchez. That's the reason Steve picked him. Stay fair. Stay fair. It won't. Just foul. He is 6 for 14 with a couple of home runs.
James McCann was talking before the ball game about what they were trying to do with Anibal Sanchez. He has a tendency to get really slow. When he gets slow, he doesn't appear to get as much on his fastball as when he's working quickly and can work in rhythm. So they're trying to speed him up this evening. It worked later in the ball game last time out.
Back through the middle and into center field for a base hit.
Let's take a look at the American League wild card, and you'll see that the Tigers are knocking at the door. Boston and the Blue Jays, they're tied. The Tigers just a game and a half back. They're trying to build on that. They're getting a big lift because Thursday, Jordan Zimmerman, their high-priced free agent pitcher, is coming back, and J.D. Martinez, there's a very good chance he'll be back also. That adds a huge hitter to their lineup and one of their mainstays in the starting rotation.
Tim can't get it. Anderson 2 for 4 when he saw Sanchez back home. A beautiful, beautiful evening here in Detroit. We had 3 marvelous days in Minneapolis. Gorgeous day yesterday, the off day. There's a strike and a count 0-2. And here at Comerica Park, 345 down the left field line, 370 in left center, 420 dead away center, 365 in right center, 330 down the right field line. And all the fences are 8 feet 6 inches tall, with the right field wall 11 feet 6 inches tall. And with those measurements, these fences were moved in 25 feet in 2003.
Well, you had to if you were going to have any hitters that you want to have a hope to hit the ball out of the ballpark, because they were way back there.
Well, that one that's Gonzalez thing still mystifies me. That's got to be one of the worst decisions ever made in Major League Baseball.
Well, that was a long time ago when he turned down $141 million for 7 years because he thought the fences were back too far.
And as strong as he was, it didn't make any difference with him.
If they'd at that point, if they'd have put out $141 million for 7 years, they'd have moved the fences in for him.
Well, and besides, as I say, he could hit it out of Grand Canyon.
Big, strong man.
1-2. And that's a souvenir right side.
McCann's got a pretty strong arm. Doesn't have the quickest delivery around, but he can get it down there pretty well. Eaton's trying to get a lead. He's made a couple of quick steps, seeing if he can get his footwork early. And so far, they've just been quick steps, and then he's halted.
That's up high to even the count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball hit deep into center field, Maben. Got a lot of room back there. All right, and fans, now you can vote for your pick to click before each game. Visit whitesox.com/pick-to-click and decide who you think will be the next White Sox position player of the game. And there is the crew right there. And Jim Angio, Mike Leary, Dave Ross, and Mike Spadali, Dina Spadali, Matt Nykiel, Leo Brady, and I. We're going to go with a rookie, Charlie Tilson. There he goes. Melky. Melky's been swinging that lumber. Swinging that lumber. Boy, that deadline, that trade deadline has really become a media event, which is good.
It was exciting. I mean,
which was very good.
Sitting around and watching exactly what was going on, who was going to go where. Texas Rangers did a great job improving their offense. Boy, that is a stacked lineup.
Well, Cleveland did a great job, too. And he gets him.
So let's take a look at who moved where. Jonathan Lucroy to the Rangers, Beltran to the Rangers, Liriano and Feldman, a couple of pitchers, right and left-handers, to the Blue Jays. The Indians got Brandon Guyer. Steve Pearce went to the Orioles. He was with the Orioles. Fernando Abad went to the Red Sox. We saw him a couple of times in Minnesota. We'll get to a little more of the trades coming along.
There he goes. He just had too big a jump right there. Ivan Rodriguez was not going to throw him out.
That's the 12th stolen base of the year for Adam, and he gets almost a running start. Before McCann has it, he's sliding into second base. So good throw, bad throw, high throw, low throw, doesn't really matter.
No.
He stole that one on Anibal Sanchez.
Pick him up, Jose. Jose 8 for 14 with a couple of home runs off Sanchez. As that ball hit in the center field, that's a can of corn for Cameron Maben. And that'll retire the side after a half inning of play. It's our guys nothing, and the Tigers coming to bat.
Osmus and his Tigers. Ian Kinsler leading it off. He's always dangerous. Cameron Maben, Miguel Cabrera, who's one of the best in the business. Last 10, he's really crushing the ball. Victor Martinez, Upton, Collins, McCann, Romine, and Iglesias rounding it out. The Honda City defensive setup, and how Robin's going to line him up behind James Shields, Elkie Cabrera, Charlie Tilson getting his first Sox start with Adam Eaton. In the infield, it's Frazier, Anderson, Saladino, and Abreu. Yana Navarro once again gets the start behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is James Shields, who's putting together quite a run. His record 5-12. Last 6 times out, 6 quality starts with an ERA minuscule. And plus, the opponent's just not hitting the ball very well consistently.
So here is a good one. One of the most aggressive and one of the best first ball fastball hitters in the league, Ian Kinsler. Well, it's been fun to watch him during his career. And actually, he really hadn't changed too much of anything. His stance, his approach, stayed right with it. And it's made him a lot of money.
Doesn't seem to age him very much,
No.
and he can still steal bases. He plays a much better than average second base.
Yeah, they can turn a double play. They've turned 108. Of course, he's got a pretty good shortstop out there with him.
Iglesias has wonderful hands, and in talking with Omar Vizquel, the first base coach, about him, he said that there isn't a play he can't make. He would like him on a couple, not to be quite as flashy, but he said he's got great hands.
That ball hit deep into right field, back on the track is Adam, and that's out number 1. Well, there's some great shortstops. I had some text when I mentioned about Louis Aparicio the other day that he was the best shortstop that I played against in my time zone. And I said, there are 5 shortstops in the American League today that are better than Louis. And that's
there's a lot of great shortstops.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's why wouldn't there be? Baseball is not exempt from getting bigger, faster, and stronger and more talented than other sports. Maben, this guy, last time we played him here at the first part of June, went 5 for 12. You could have caught all 5 of those hits with a pair of tweezers.
Well, he realizes with his speed, if he can hit the ball on the ground, he can get it done and beat it out. When he hits fly balls, for the most part, he's got a little power, not much. When he hits fly balls, he's doing you a favor.
That's why.
Unlike this guy.
Well, this guy here, if he, it's just a shame he hadn't stayed healthy. What a talent. What a talent. Cabrera, 303, 23 homers, 66 knocked in. But that's the reason that I think that you have to go by not by numbers, but by eras in your time zone. Was he dominant in his time zone? That's why Louis is a Hall of Famer. Aparicio was a great shortstop in his time zone.
Yeah, I mean that's all. Actually, that's all you can really go by is compare who he played against, because trying to go from this era where guys are bigger, and stronger, and quicker, and the arms across the board are probably better because of the strength of the players. Can't compare them to players 50, 60 years ago.
No, you can't.
It doesn't work out that way.
No. There's a Rocket with a base hit. So he's now 23 for 61 off James Shields.
He just takes this one through the left side. Boy, he can square it up on the bat with the best of them. He tried to get that ball inside, didn't get inside far enough, and he keeps the inning alive for Victor Martinez. And we told you that J.D. Martinez, who is a big banger in his own right, is probably coming back to this lineup on Thursday.
Well, he's dangerous.
Ooh.
J.D. has made himself into a dangerous hitter, and boy, I tell you, that's in this lineup. Whew, that is double tough.
Well, he's only played 65 games, which is probably 60% of the team's games. He had 12 home runs, 39 driven in, and a .286 batting average when he went on the DL. Thing
I like about JD when he's not playing against us is that he's made himself that dangerous hitter who, in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, is not afraid to hit a 2-3 run home run to beat you. Victor, 37-year-old veteran, 14 for 49 lifetime off Shields. And this guy here has been one terrific guy to watch in his career. He has been the consummate professional, consummate competitor, consummate teammate. And boy, what a good clutch hitter. Just again with him, saying he's had so many injuries.
Yes, he has. And there was a time, well, he started out as a catcher, then he moved to first base, and now because of the leg issues, he's a designated hitter. But you don't want to face him in a key situation. You
No.
just soon face somebody else.
No, ask our guy Chris Sale about him.
Yeah, he's got Chris's number, always has had.
Wow, Dave Ross has told us he's 18 for 36 with 4 home runs against Chris.
It's a man you want to put on first base when you get a chance.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thing about this lineup though is when you're going over the hitters and you say, okay, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, who do we not want to beat us? There's a list here.
Yeah, well,
with JD's in the lineup.
JD's in the lineup. There's 3 guys, Cabrera and both of the Martinez guys, that you just don't want to face. You just do not face Kinsler either if you have a choice.
Well, that's true, but you know, according to who's pitching, sometimes you'll put Victor Martinez as number 1 in that category. Most of the pitchers you'll put Cabrera as number 1 in that category to not let him beat you. But it gets back to the old adage, which I think will never change in many respects, that almost everything in baseball has changed the culture of the game, so to speak. But most of the great pitchers that I've always talked to is that's off the plate, that's ball 4. They have been keep it simple, KISS. Keep it simple in the respect that I don't want to know all the other BS. Just tell me who's hot and who's not.
Yeah.
They want to keep it that simple. It's just like teams. Don't tell me who they are. It's not who you play, it's when you play them.
Well, you certainly would like to know who are the first pitch swingers, because there's something to be said from keeping the ball out of the zone against guys notoriously like Kinsler. After his first at bat, he loves to go after the first pitch on succeeding at bats.
Well, he's one of the better first ball fastball hitters in the league. Upton's been swinging the bat much better than the last time we saw him here. Comes in at 239, 13 homers, 46 driven in. That's high. I'll be fighting my son. Now back in front of the track. He just missed it. Meanwhile, after 1 no score. Chicago, think E-Click Lending with rates at all-time lows. Don't wait. Lock in your low rate today with E-Click Lending. You never pay lending fees. Point, click, save, E-Click Lending. Justin Morneau, top of the second, leads it off. No score. Frazier on deck. Deanna Navarro in the hole.
Pretty good ballpark for a left-handed pull hitter. As with a short porch in right center field and also down the line in right, not that difficult to hit it out.
Well, there's only one park in baseball that I can think of that's not good for a left-handed pull hitter. It's a left-handed game, built for left-handers. Abner built it for left-handers and did a good job. But of the 30 parks, 29 of them are good for left-handed pull hitters.
And which one do you think is not?
You know which one it is.
Well, the one that you played in for a while anyway.
Yeah, Fenway Park.
If you can pull it right down the line, it's pretty comfortable.
301.
Yeah, pretty comfortable. But
you
really have to pull it.
But you only get about a 10-foot space there on Pesky's pole before it goes out to 380. That's why it's the toughest right field in baseball to play. Morneau 7 for 25 lifetime. Iglesias.
Anibal Sanchez has given up 18 home runs this year, and that's number 1 on his ball club in that dubious department. Daniel Norris was one of those guys they ticketed for the starting rotation when the season started. He got hurt, now activated, sent down to the minor leagues. So at least for the moment, he won't be in the rotation, but that's a really good insurance policy to have.
Tied. 29 homers, 67 driven in. One and two the count. Annabelle with 5-0-2 counts already. And Todd came real close to hit that one out of here too. Meanwhile, 2 down. Piana. Piana 4 for 13 lifetime of Anibal Sanchez as John Tumpain, home plate umpire, calls that a strike. Now make that 6. 0-2 counts. That was 0-3. And after an inning and a half, no score.
Alumni, students, and fans to the ballpark on Friday, August 5th. That's when you can purchase your tickets using the Illini code. You receive a specially priced game ticket, a voucher for a White Sox Illini hat, and the opportunity to watch the White Sox take batting practice before the gates open. To purchase this ticket package, visit whitesox.com/Illini. Al Avila, the general manager, talking about the same thing that, well, Robin was talking about, the same thing that Ausmus was talking about, the same thing that Rick Hahn was talking about. Not much activity in the case of the Tigers, no activity at the trade deadline. And he said, look, everybody wanted my young pitchers, Boyd and Fulmer and Norris. And he said, there was a time when this team used to do that. He said, but that time is not now. So with Mike Pelfrey taking an MRI on his back and having a sprain, they need all the young pitchers they can get. And Fulmer having a great year. He came over from the New York Mets. They don't want to trade any of the youngsters.
Well, I certainly agree with Avila's posture. You can. Scouting is so subjective that it's just, I mean, it's tougher today to scout than it ever has been. Everything in baseball is tougher today. But for you to have 2 or 3 consecutive really outstanding drafts is almost unheard of in today's culture.
Well, that's one of the ways. In the case of these guys, they got them in trades.
Well, that's the second way, and that's why you want to get as many. Obviously, the minor league should be, first of all, serve 2 purposes. As Collins laces it back through the middle. First of all, to supply the big club with talent. And next of all, to be a candy store for the other 29.
If you need a piece or 2 to fill everything out, and you're developing young players, it doesn't matter these days, pitchers, hitters, guys with power, guys with speed. If you're developing the youngsters, you can make those deals. You make the deals for today, you give away a little bit of tomorrow.
All right, well, I want to give me your opinion. As here is the 26-year-old catcher, James McCann. In your opinion, of the 30 teams, how many teams are good at developing young talent?
Well, we've got, in looking at the systems, the Rangers have a good system. Houston has a good system. Those 2 have done a really nice job of developing their youngsters. Boston has had a good system.
That's in the right field. It's a can of corn for Adam.
Now the Cubs, who were very bad at it for a long time under Theo and Jed Hoyer, they've gotten together a very good system these days, and they can make some trades. They got 3 guys at the back end of their bullpen. I mean, now what they filled in with Joe Smith for the 7th. They had Rodon, that was for the 8th, and Aroldis Chapman for the 9th. It's a 6-inning game.
That's 4 clubs you think.
4 clubs. Yeah, let's see who else has been developing well. Well, we got 4 of them. and it looks like we got 4 of them. And the Pirates actually have had a pretty good development program. There's not, the end result is there's really not too many that develop them all that well.
Right.
Just,
That's
it
exactly
doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe 15%, maybe 20% tops, if that.
Well, for a while, I mean, they were bad for a while, and in Kansas City took advantage of some very high but very good '1 draft picks, and that's how Dayton Moore built that World Series championship team. They did it with a lot of their #1s. Gordon a #1, Hosmer a #1, Ochever a #1, Moustakas a #1. They developed Salvi Perez behind the plate. I mean, they used some #1s to get Lorenzo Cain.
And they lost an awful lot of games to get those picks.
They did that. They suffered for a long time.
There he goes. The honor. He gone. May have caught a break there.
I think maybe they want to take another look at it. We'll see. Collins is coming in, and so far he's not coming in quickly. He wants to see if if they want to take another look at it, and I think they probably are going to.
Yeah. Yeah, there are not many clubs that are real good at developing talent.
There's the throw. We'll look the foot.
And some of them, and it's indicative of the scouts that they have, some of them are good in certain areas. Like some of them are good with pitching. Some of them are good with offense, like Texas has always been real good with offense, hitters. Some of them are good with speed. But very, very, very seldom do you see one that's comprehensive, so to speak.
Looks to me like the foot is in there, and the question then is, does it pop up off the bag with the glove still on him? And Tim's going to learn.
Hey, you're right. That foot did come off the bag.
But Tim's going to learn to keep that glove on the tag all the way through the slide, because a lot of guys will hit the bag very hard. The foot will pop up. They lose contact with the bag. If you still keep the glove on them, you're going to get them. It looked like Tim put the glove down, lifted it up, and then Collins' foot came off the bag, but we'll have to see what it looks like in New York. But I think, Hawk, you're right that the Sox have brought some very good young pitchers to the major leagues. And, you know, they brought them up through their system, both bullpen guys and starters. But developing position players has been problematic for them. You got Tim Anderson, who looks like he's pretty good, but very few of these teams can develop both pitching and position players enough to fill out an organization so that you can trade for the 2 or 3 guys you'll need from other places. If you have them, well, it certainly costs you a whole lot less than if you have to start shopping in the free agent market to fill out your club.
Well, since I've been in this organization, 2 of the most, if not the most valuable people in this organization have been Herm Schneider and Don Cooper. I mean, and then you have Kirk Champion, who did a good job down in the minor leagues and still with us. That's one reason why. Again, that's indicative of the scouts that you have. And they stay with it, call him out, we'll take it. And that's the reason that Steve mentioned is what did come up in the air. So 2 down, but when you've got a good medical staff and you've got a terrific pitching coach, boy, that goes a long way in developing young pitchers.
In this day and age, you also have to have good strength coaches, and Alan Thomas is one of those.
He's one of the best. That's why there's that ball hit into right field, and that's going to retire the side, and we're into the 3rd.
later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
All right, here's Charlie Tilson making his major league debut.
This he'll never forget, regardless of what happens in this at bat.
Out of New Trier High School. Takes first pitch strike. Down in Memphis, he was hitting .282, 4 homers, 34 knocked in with 16 doubles and 8 triples to go along with 15 stolen bases. So Steve told you he can run. Gets through there. Atta boy. Nice start. Hopefully the first of many.
Get that baseball. Throw it out of the game. There it goes.
So, Mike and
Miguel Cabrera,
Dina Spadali, Matt Nykiel, Leo Brady, Tommy Sheridan there picked the click. First major league at bat, and poof.
And Miguel Cabrera congratulates him.
Sure he does.
That's really nice.
He's
really
great.
Nice. Yeah, he is.
Miguel's great about that. Here's Tyler. That little swing he put on that ball and the way he finished it up, and just a quick glance reminded me a little bit of Rick Mundy's swing. Former first-round pick. In fact, the first player ever picked in the draft back in 1965 for Kansas City.
Well, Tilson didn't strike out too much in his minor league career. Early in his career, he had some injuries to overcome. But lately, he stayed healthy, and he's got a short stroke. I mean, you could see it in that at bat. So he's not going to strike out a great deal.
Well, we need a few more in our lineup like that.
Yeah, we do.
We need some Kansas City special guys. Make contact. Put the ball in play. Maben.
Here it is. First major league hit. Takes a fastball out away. And hits it by a diving Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, the way he finished the swing and dropped back his back foot. It did remind me a little bit of Rick.
That's exciting, and I think we're going to see, might not see the success, but we're going to see a stolen base attempt. Not the first pitch, because it's easy to call a pitch out, but he's getting a pretty good lead at first.
He's going to hold the ball on him, which is what you should do with that adrenaline flow that Charlie's got going for him right now.
Sanchez has a slider. He's got a curveball. He throws a straight change. So he's got all 4 pitches. It has been a question for him of keeping him down in the zone, because he throws a lot of long fly balls, and a lot of them go out of the park.
Boy, that adrenaline flow, there's not too many things can top that. When you're an athlete, the first pitch, the big leagues, tip off in basketball, the kickoff in football, the first round in the boxing match. I mean, that adrenaline flow is awesome.
Well, all you have to do is take a look at closers when they have an opportunity to close and when they're just getting an inning in a non-safe situation.
That's the poster child.
And that will tell you exactly what adrenaline can do for you, because
right.
There's none flowing when they're trying to get in an inning.
That's right. That's the poster child for that conversation. And there's ball 4. Adam. Now, where you don't want that adrenaline flow is 18th or the 72nd hole in golf. And it's not very good. Here's Tim Anderson. Timmy went out deep to center field. I remember when I retired, was working out down in Miami. Of course, Nicholas was a member there. We were talking one day about adrenaline. And he said, you've got to learn how to handle the adrenaline. And he said, I'm going to give you an example. He said, if Tom Weiskopf ever figured out how to handle his adrenaline, we'd all be playing for second. Which is quite a statement.
He was a guy that he won his share, but should have won a lot more with the natural talent he had.
Yeah, he gave me an example. He said, let's take the 72nd hole at Doral, Green Monster. That par 4 18th, that is a monster itself. He said he's liable to have 180 in there. You take out an 8-iron and hit it 225.
It's usually not too good.
No. He said that if he had figured out a way to control it, that they'd all be playing for second. Pick him up. Tim, let's have a couple of our young players get instrumental here. Some scoring in a big series.
The arms in the outfield are okay. There's not great arms in this Tiger outfield.
Uh-oh. Rack him up. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Still no score.
All season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. Whether it's pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, or more, escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape.
You know what was a pleasant surprise too? The iPad and the iPhone, and I mentioned the trading time and the deadline coming up, looming yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I mean, you could, excuse me, 4 p.m. You could absolutely get anything you wanted to see on the internet. It was awesome. I mean, it really was. And there was a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, a lot of really poignant and to the point, so to speak, stuff on why this club should trade, this club shouldn't trade.
Well, the great thing about it, and the thing we will never know, is how many conversations were taken right down to the end and they couldn't consummate the deal. And, you know, for one reason or another reason, they just couldn't get it done in time. Now, it doesn't mean they won't get it done down the road. They just have to get waivers now.
Tyler's got him. So Iglesias retired, went out. Well, and also, for those of you who've been hearing a lot about waivers, everybody, well, he's going to go on waivers. Everybody goes on waivers.
That's you try to pass everybody through and see who you can get through.
See, and see who's interested in him. So there's going to be some deals still made.
People have to understand there's two kinds of waivers. There's revocable waivers and irrevocable waivers. The first waiver you go on is revocable, meaning, let's say that Hawk has a ball club, I have a ball club, I put a guy on waivers, he claims him. Well, I don't want him to get him for nothing. for what his salary is. So I say, look, if you're interested, what will you give me for him? If he makes me happy with what he wants to give me, that's fine. If not, I pull him back, and then you can't move that player.
That is high, deep, and foul.
But once you have waivers, then
Irrevocable. You have to be. You're the only person who can take yourself off those. You're the only person. If the club puts Steve up on irrevocable waivers, then he is. I can't call him back if somebody claims it.
no, that's it.
But you can say, I don't want to go, and now you come back to me. That's why they call them irrevocable. I know when Charlie Finley got upset with me and put me on waivers back in 1967, and they were irrevocable. And when I talked to the American League, I didn't know what irrevocable and irrevocable, whatever it was, irrevocable.
Nobody had any representation.
No, we didn't have agents. So I asked Joe Reichler, I said, what does this mean? It means Hawking, that he cannot take you off these waivers. You're the only one that can take yourself off these waivers, and I know you're not going to do that.
No, you might as well be a free agent.
Yeah. So there's still going to be a lot of wheeling and dealing going on.
I would say guys with very big contracts who have a couple years left to run on them, those are the guys that will sneak through waivers. And once you have them, then you can then make a deal with somebody because you got waivers on them. But we saw a situation with Jonathan Lucroy where he had a trade exemption to 8 different teams, and one of the teams was the Cleveland Indians. So they agreed to a deal.
Hi, Papa.
And the catch is made. So the deal they agreed to was with the Cleveland Indians, one of the 8 teams. And so Milwaukee, after they figured out what was going to make Cleveland happy, what was going to make Milwaukee happy, then they have to go to Lucroy and say, will you come off? In this case, what Lucroy wanted was he wanted him to come off the option for 2017 to go to Cleveland to get off his no trade, and he said he wanted them to do that. Well, then it's back in the Indians' court. They said no, we're not going to do that. He was eventually traded, but he was traded to the Texas Rangers,
Who said we'll do it.
Well, I don't think they were one of the exempted teams. I think they were one of the teams that
he could be traded to.
That he could be traded to,
okay.
and the
well,
option.
they didn't need it.
Right, and the team option then goes with him.
Right. Yeah. No, there's so many things today that I think so many clubs make huge mistakes in. Yeah, giving them contracts with options to opt out.
How about opt out after a year or two?
I'm
Whatever
telling
it
you
is.
what, that's to me is just absolutely insanity.
If a guy has a great year, he's opting out. If he has a terrible year, you're obligated for 2 more years, and he won't opt out. The team gets all the worst of it.
That's insanity. It really is.
Well, I think Cespedes has that kind of a deal, I believe, with the Mets, where he gets a 1-year opt out.
Maben fouls that away right side. Oh, the count goes full. No score. Totals on the board identical. 0-2 and 0 for both teams here in the bottom of the third. And there is ball 4. So the first walk. In fact, that second walk, he walked Victor Martinez in the first inning. And he's 13 for 17 in stolen bases. So here is Miguel. Singles sharply in the hole between third and short. There's the strike.
Well, normally you would say, well, don't run with Maben here because then you're just going to pitch around Cabrera. But you got Victor Martinez, who's as good a clutch hitter, not as good overall, but as good a clutch hitter as Cabrera, and you certainly don't want to do that. So you got to keep your eye close on Maben.
He's got a good lead. Plenty of time. And that'll retire the side. We're into the fourth. No score. For us in the top of the fourth inning. Okie struck out. Abreu on deck and Justin Morneau in the hole. First pitch strike. Anibal Sanchez, 32-year-old right-hander. A couple of years ago, had one of the best changeups in the American League.
There was a time when he was one of the better pitchers around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then for some reason, well, it happens to hitters, it happens to pitchers, it happens to every athlete in every sport. You just lose that mental image on how to do what it was, whether it's throwing a changeup, chipping, putting, hitting a baseball. You just lose that mental image.
For Sanchez, it came via the disabled list because he was on the disabled list in 2013 with a right shoulder strain. Then went back on the DL in 2014 with a middle finger laceration. Then back in 2014 on the DL, right pectoral muscle strain. And then the DL last year from August through the end of the season with a rotator cuff strain. So for him, it's been lots of arm injuries.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can lose the mental image after not working.
Well, I think that's.
You know, I talked to a psychologist about this too. Dick Schwartz, Oak Park, terrific. He lectures all over the world. That he said it's very common for athletes to lose that image of what they're supposed to do. And that's why guys, for an example, who've been fine players in hitting and baseball, they lose that image and they all of a sudden their hitting deteriorates. That's why I find golfers who won tournaments come up with the yips and putting. And look at Tiger when he came up with the yips and chipping. How about Steve Saxon throwing? Stay fair. Stay fair. He won't get that one. So he'll cruise into second base with the one-out double. And Chuck Knobloch was throwing. You lose that image on how to throw.
Yeah, they call it the thing, and nobody's been able to figure out yet exactly what to do with it. We've seen it happen to pitchers. Steve Blass, the famous one in the World Series. Rick Ankiel, another guy who lost it in the World Series and never got it back again. And sometimes when it happens, I mean, Mike Andrews, a guy that you remember from Boston, came over to the White Sox. I remember being on the mound. He was at third base because they wanted to get him a different look than the look from second. You had to get off the mound. He would hit the pitching rubber from third base. No, it's true. I mean, it was awful. You felt terrible for the guy. And that's, you know, and nobody's been able to quite figure out once that happens to guys. For Knobloch, they took him off second base, moved him in the outfield. But a lot of guys, it never comes back.
It was a sad day. That was a sad day. I remember Chuck in our ballpark. Made a couple bad throws and came in after the last one. Went right down in the dugout, back into the clubhouse. And that was it. That was it.
Upton very deep in left field for a left-hand hitter. Normally you don't see that. You figure Collins will be deep in right, which he is.
One and two the count. Justin grounded out to Iglesias at short. Not a bad crowd on hand. They're averaging 31,292. There's that chain. Way out of the zone. And yet you could never get the mental image on how to throw a changeup.
No, and I tried everything. I tried different grips, different finger pressures, and everything else, and just couldn't get a feel for it. But I could get some other off-speed pitches over the plate, so that was the adjustment I made. But you know, you see some guys that just, you teach them a changeup, and the next day they take it into a ball game and they never have any problems with it. And other guys, I spent 14 years trying to find it. And I still haven't found it.
Yeah. And for you youngsters out there, forget about, we talked about this a lot. Forget about if you have trouble with a curveball or a slider, because major leaguers have trouble with curveballs and sliders. So that's not anything for you to worry about. What you have to do is you have to learn how to hit the fastball. If you can hit the fastball, you can cover the fastball, you got a chance to play in the big leagues. Good rip underneath it.
Tried to cut that ball in on his hands and got it in off the plate. Justin was able to stay alive. McCann out there. He wanted this one low and away, and Sanchez missed his spot by plenty, so he went out to talk with him about it. He was looking for a backdoor cutter. He got one inside, which is something you don't want to do.
Pick him up right here. Payoff. And that's ball four. That's the first walk, second walk issued by Sanchez. He walked Eaton last inning. So here's Tide, went out to left field.
Todd Frazier second behind Mark Trumbo in American League home run leaders. Edwin Encarnacion knocking at the door. He's got 28 of them.
See John Gibbons start to front load part of the top of his. The ball hit hard in the center field, right at him. That's a hang. Welcome for Ty. I see he's starting to front load the top end of that lineup a little bit.
He's got some lineup.
Oh,
he's got a good one.
Those guys, they're dangerous. And then all of a sudden you throw Tulowitzki in too, because he's a little healthy. Out with his thumb now.
Yeah, he's got some problems. I think it's a chip fracture, and he gets hurt a lot.
Unbelievable.
Yep. There's some guys that just, you don't know what happens. It seems to happen to them consistently. Troy Tulowitzki, one of those guys.
Well, you got last year's MVP, Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, he plays just about every day.
And hard every day.
Yep.
There's a base hit. So here comes Abreu. Now they're going to go to throw to third. And he's safe. And it's a 1-0 Sox lead. Attaboy, Deonner.
27th run batted in. And the Sox on the board first. Jose's going to score that play to third base, and it was a little closer at third than you would have thought, but on the sweep tag he missed him.
Yeah, that's where the third baseman's got to. In this case, Andrew Romine's got to try to hold as much ground as he can close to the bag rather than go out and get it and then come back and try to sweep it. So here's Charlie Tilson. Takes that pitch up high, making his second major league at bat and his first one. Leading off the third inning, he singles back through the middle. Hit the ball sharply.
You're talking about that Blue Jay lineup, front loading it. Bautista's back in the lineup and healthy now. He's leading off for him. Then Donaldson, then Encarnacion, then Saunders having a big year is hitting fourth.
Well, that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yep.
Get those guys up there as much as you can. Plus the percentages. Little three hopper, and that'll retire the side. But the big base hit by Deonner. Navarro knocks in Abreu, and it's 1-0 good guys.
Sox game receive a game card courtesy of Jewel Osco with a coupon for $10 off a purchase of $100 or more. Jewel Osco, your moment is our moment. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
All right, James, you got your run, buddy. There it is. 1-0 Sox here going to the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Martinez, Upton, Collins to face big game James Shields. That ball hit deep into center field. Charlie is back there. Got a good jump, made it look easy. Still 1 pitch, 1 out.
White Sox fans, join us as our Sox take on the Orioles at home on Saturday, August 6th at 6:10. First 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox retro batting practice pullover presented by Coca-Cola. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com.
You know, we were talking earlier about one of the reasons the Sox bring up a lot of good pitchers. We can't mention Kirk Champion, who's been there a long time, is 28th year in our organization. We cannot leave out Kurt Hassel. Kurt has been there for, this is his 25th season. So the continuity has been there with the pitching. And all of a sudden now the relationship between Cooper and Hassler and Champion, they can call him and say, okay, look, Stoneman's doing this. All you got to do with it is tweak it a little bit there, I think, and see what you do. See what you think.
Yeah, everybody's, I mean, there's so much video these days that a guy that used to be 2,000 miles away at some obscure small minor league park, now you can see each and every pitch he throws, and you can see it immediately, and then you can run it by Coop if you want to. Say, hey, look, we have something here that we think. What do you think? And then, you know, so there's great communication, but now the visuals are so much better than they've ever been at any other time in our game.
And improving all the time.
Yeah. James has thrown it pretty well. At 50 pitches so far, he's given up just 2 singles against a red-hot hitting team that's averaged 7.5 runs a game over their last 6.
Well, like our club, this club has been very disappointing here in Detroit. As has, well, you can understand Kansas City with all the injuries they've had. And Minnesota, after the year they had last year. Terribly disappointing season.
I think Minnesota felt that they were primed and ready for a big year this year. They were very competitive. And then coming into this year, all of a sudden Glenn Perkins goes down. So now you're starting the season, you don't have your closer. And that really made things difficult for them. They tried Kevin Jepson as a closer. That didn't work. And now they really have, you know, really have problems at the back end of that bullpen. If you have that, then the rest of it is.
Well, they'd rather lose problems. Joe Mauer than Neil Perkins.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Perkins was one of their best. And he made it where he would make all the leads hold up. If you don't have that, you get big problems.
That hit him. So Upton, 7 for 9 in the stolen bases is on.
This one drifts inside, and this caught him good. This caught him right above the left elbow, and he has chosen, for whatever reason, I guess it's just comfort, not to armor up that lead elbow. And when you don't put padding on that, that's a very vulnerable spot. So that one is still singing to him, and that's right on the triceps, right above that left elbow.
Well, if it's there and you don't use it, shame on you.
Yeah, and everybody's got him. That's only the 2nd time this year that Upton has been hit.
That's the first time
Third
Shields
time
has hit anybody.
3rd time, yeah.
Here's Collins. He singled, leading off the 2nd, and it was caught stealing. That ball into left field. Melky. 2 down.
Well, the Indians are having a tough time. The Indians, who did make a couple of decent trades, find themselves trailing Minnesota 6-0 in Cleveland, top of the 4th inning. And they just lost Danny Salazar. We talked about that. Carlos Carrasco started this game, and he's not faring very well against Minnesota.
we both have seen and been on clubs. And today, to me, chemistry is more important than it's ever been because of the money that's being made. Chemistry is just ultra important today. And we've both seen clubs and been on clubs and watched clubs over a long period of time that you trade or lose a guy due to injury, and it changes the whole dynamic of that team. And I know in 1983, our Sox started off 14-26, came back, won 99 ball games, and won the division by 20.
You can imagine.
And one of the leaders on that ball club, without question, was a left-handed pitcher named Jerry Kuzma. And I know when he was traded over the winter after the '83 season, everybody was brokenhearted. And when we went into spring training '84, it was not the same.
Think about the Indians with the healthy Michael Brantley.
Oh boy!
Because he hasn't been healthy all year long, and that's the leader was taken off that ball club.
Well, a guy who's done a good job at picking a lot of that up has been that Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, he's
and
something.
You know, you got Kipnis, one of the leaders on the team. So they got some gamers out there, and Lindor has just stepped right in and really made the absence of Michael Brantley lessen to a huge degree.
We're going to take a look at the standings in the Central after this pitch to McCann.
There he goes. He's safe.
Fortunately, he couldn't pick up the baseball. Had he picked it up, he'd probably be standing on third. But it will go as a stolen base, and then because he didn't pick it up, no E2. So another stolen base for Upton. This one he stole easily. That ball on the third base side of second, and we talked about it in Minnesota. Mike Scioscia, excellent catcher for a long time, told me there are no outs on the third base side of second. If you miss it all, you want to miss to the first base side of second. At least eventually the runner will be there.
Here you go. And we're into the fifth, leading 1-0.
Watching on Cooperative Telephone Company in Victory, Iowa. Great town, Victory, Iowa.
They don't have any of my money in Victory. One of the few that doesn't. As here is Tyler. Takes first pitch strike. Tyler went out to center field. 1-4-0 for our guys. 0-2-0 for their guys. In the first of this 3-game set.
Talked to Tyler yesterday. He's a very interesting young man. He's 18 credits short of getting his bachelor's degree from Oral Roberts. Doing it on the computer.
There's a shot. Well, to me, there's not a smarter player on our club than Tyler Sullivan.
No, I agree with you. I think he's got a great sense of the game. He came out of a junior college and seemed to have picked up how to play the game at a very, very early level. Was drafted by Houston to start with. Decided after junior college he was going to go to Oral Roberts, so he did not sign, and then decided to sign with Sox.
Tyler's 5 for 7 in stolen bases. Adam is perfect. A single, stolen base, and a walk. Good lead by Saladino. Outfield straight up. Well, the Tigers, watch out. Tigers know of Adam Eaton prowess, hitting .439 against them this season. And this the 11th meeting of the year. Upton. Souvenir. Game 2 tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Michael Fulmer, and nothing but glowing conversations about Michael Fulmer.
Well, they got him from the Mets, and that was a deal. He came over in the Cespedes trade, and that was one of those things that went right down to the deadline, with the Tigers saying it's got to be Fulmer, and the Mets saying we're not going to give him up, and the Tigers saying if you don't give him up, you're not getting Cespedes. And eventually it was the Mets who blinked. They did give up Fulmer, and now he is a top of the rotation starter.
There he goes. Safe. One hopper. Well, the thing is we talked about chemistry and how important it is in today's game. And when you all of a sudden have a struggling pitching situation and you pick up a guy like Fulmer, who they say is terrific in the clubhouse, it can change the whole dynamic.
Well, you know what they're talking about him. The problem, and I mean, it's a problem only in that he hasn't been around all that long, but the most innings ever thrown was 125. And so they're concerned about the amount of innings he's going to pitch this year, and they were contemplating shutting him down. That's the probables tomorrow. Two very good pitchers going head to head, and Fulmer has been a revelation for these Tigers.
So there is another walk issued. First 2 men aboard. Well, Jim Price, longtime broadcaster, longtime catcher for the Tigers, told me, and Jimmy, along with Bill Freehand, who was a great catcher, in fact, the best catcher that I ever played against, that there's Jimmy, that Fulmer is the most aggressive pitcher he has ever seen coming at hitters.
That's pretty big praise. And
from him,
Jimmy,
you better believe it.
Jimmy figured it out early. He figured out that if he didn't play, they would know if he could. So he was a backup for Freehand for many years. He got a lot of years on the pension plan as a backup to Bill Freehand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good rip. Just underneath it.
Fulmer has 97 1/3 innings pitched this year in his 16 starts. And so when he starts getting up around 140, they're going to start thinking, well, you know, you don't want to extend him too much. I think we saw it the first year with Jose Quintana, where the most he had ever thrown was 124 innings, and they shut him down a bit early. Last 3 years, of course, he's gone 200 innings, but he built up to get to that point.
Now, the break was on. Now they're going to get Tyler at third. A little too quick. So Adam moves into second, but you hate like the devil to run yourself out of an inning.
Yeah, especially with that inside move. That's a tough move for a base runner to pick up. That inside move to second base. And eventually they cut him down. Sanchez doing what you're supposed to do. Cover the unoccupied base. So it goes 1-5-6-1. And that's what I mean about that inside move, where you don't spin around and throw. You actually look like you're going to throw to home plate before moving inside and turning around, and he caught Saladino. And this is what's called the inside move. Most guys at second base, when they go to second base, they do that spin around.
High pop up. Get out of here. It won't.
Friday, August 5th is Ladies' Night. Come see the Sox take on the Orioles at 7:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Athletico. First 1,000 fans to purchase at whitesox.com/ladies receive a free tote bag. Athletico, physical therapy, better for everybody.
Here's Melky. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Ground out to short. Deep in the left, up and back right. In front of the Miller Lite sign. So we have a golden opportunity. We're halfway home, leading 1-0. All right, our Chuck battling a headache, but he's up to it as that ball hit deep into center field. And it's over the head of Tilson. And he is safe on a triple.
Romine, who's known for his defense, puts a charge into that one. take another look at it as Romine gets a fastball. It's down and away. Probably tried to throw a cutter down there. And we'll take a look. Tilson coming over and then realizing he can't get to it. That ball hit probably just past the grass on the track. He's not used to, and very few people are, 420 feet to straightaway center field.
No, chances are he hadn't played in the park with that much room out there. So here is a good contact man, Iglesias. That's just the third hit given up by James Shields.
The infield is back as Robin wants to stay out of the big inning. Iglesias makes contact. He's one of the toughest guys in all of baseball to strike out. 33 strikeouts and 335 at bats.
Just got back in.
It's good coordination between Todd Frazier and James Shields. There has to be a nod of the head. Sometimes there's a signal for it. And they almost get him. But Romine, who has played a lot of third base in his time, getting back in ahead of the tag.
Never seen anybody work that play as well as Black Jack McDowell and Robin Ventura.
Did they have a sign in acknowledgement or just a little?
Yeah, they had a sign.
Head?
I mean, they were really good at it. And very seldom when they put it on did they miss. Well, I didn't. I never played on a team that had that play that worked very often. Our club this year has tried a lot more pickoffs.
Well, Deanna Navarro loves to throw, and he'll do it a lot of different ways. But if you can throw, usually if you get runners at first and second, you can work some sort of pickoff with the trailing runner. Many times that guy at first base with the lead runner at second will get a little careless, especially on that secondary lead, and you can get him pretty easily.
Cues that one right off the end of the bat. Omar Vizquel once again will make a clean play.
He could have said that most of his career, and it didn't matter what position he played. Remember, he came over to our ball club and played third base, and played an errorless third base for the rest of the season.
He was a magician. Count hangs at 1-2. Run on 5 hits, no errors for us. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for them. Well, that'll get the job done. Game is tied.
That was just some good hitting on the part of Iglesias, because he waited, got a pitch that he could hit in the air, and took it almost off the ground before he delivered the run batted in. It's just his second sacrifice fly. So in a situation where contact gets you the run, he would be the last guy on this team you'd want to face, because you can hardly strike him out.
Here's Kinsler going out deep to right and popped up to short. Takes first pitch strike. Good speed aboard.
Join the 2016 Sox Pride Club for exclusive ticket offers and seating locations all season long. You also get game day opportunities, club auctions, ballpark tours, membership gifts, and more. Visit SoxPrideClub.com to join today.
Kinsler 10 for 13 in stolen bases.
You'd have to figure he would be off somewhere early in this count to Maben.
Maben has gone out to right and he has walked.
Not a bad idea, but
and pretty good technique.
Yep, not a bad idea. So Cameron Maben was originally drafted by these Tigers, and they thought a whole lot of him because they knew that center field here was difficult to play, and he's a burner. In fact, the Tigers used 16 center fielders between the time in 2007 they drafted Cameron Maben and brought him to the major leagues, and the trade in 2015 that brought him back. He originally went to the Florida Marlins in a deal that brought Miguel Cabrera from the Marlins to the Tigers.
Kinsler, pretty good lead, does not go. And the count 0-2. Well, they had our guy, Austin Jackson, out there for a while, and some of the Tiger people asking me about Austin, and I said, well, he's one of the biggest hurts we've had, one of the biggest losses this year. This club was going pretty good until he went down. He was swinging the bat extremely well. But the thing was, nothing was hitting the ground in the outfield. And boy, when nothing hits that ground in the outfield, you got a chance to win a ball game.
Not to mention the fact that just his presence shifted Adam Eaton to right field, where he's played a Gold Glove right field this year.
Yeah. That's fair ball. They're going to wave Ian around. He's going to score. Maben on his way to third base. And it's a 2-1 Tiger lead.
2 triples in the inning. Very rarely you're going to see that. Maben driving in the 29th run of the year. And that ball just eased its way down the line. It's a rolling breaking ball out of the strike zone. Maben goes out and gets it past the diving Frazier. And when it doesn't hit off the side wall, when it goes all the way down into the corner, that's when Kinsler scores easily. Melky gets it back in, but not near in time.
So here's the big man. He's 1 for 2 in the infield end. Well, not to say that it would have happened on that play with Maben being the hitter. But there's an illustration of what Steve was talking about, Adam Eaton being shifted to right, where he's played a Gold Glove right field. And Melky been able to play closer to the line because Austin Jackson covered center, right center, and left center. And there's a good chance that Melky, with Austin out there in center, would have been able to get over and stop that ball before Kinsler scored.
It's Dave Clark, the third base coach.
Well, that's a good play even if it doesn't work.
Got to shorten up that secondary lead, and on a short wild pitch or pass ball, maybe he loses a step and doesn't take off.
That's exactly why it's a good play. But that's going to get the job done and more. So a single, 2 triples, and a double, and they lead it 3-1. And Tilson is down, still down.
Hermie, Robin taking a long, slow walk out there, and looked like a hamstring. Looks like he's grabbing the left area around the hamstring.
I don't know if I've ever seen as many guys called up getting hurt like we've seen.
Kevin Smith never made it to the post in Toronto.
Like we have seen.
Matt Davidson after a base hit, and you see the hamstring grabbed on him before he could actually make the attempt at that ball. See it right there. He just shortens up that last step. That's a hamstring, folks, and hopefully he'll be okay. It just, I mean, he had a good chance to make this catch, and right there it grabbed on him. Well, maybe it's turning the left ankle.
Yeah. Hyperextended. But meanwhile, that looks like a DL, and it's another first call.
Wow.
Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
Matt Davidson had one at bat, got a base hit in his second at bat, and then rounded first base and broke a bone in his foot. Had to have surgery, a screw put in, lost for the year, and wow, that to me still looks like a hamstring, but we'll have to see. He's going to come out of this one. Whew. No, that doesn't look particularly good.
No. Well, at least he's flexing the knee, so it's a good chance that hopefully it's just a hamstring. Well, don't unpack, JB Shuck.
Get the call in and get him back.
Yeah, that was an ugly looking shot when that leg is Avi coming in. Watch this. Right there.
Yeah, I think he's going to make that catch, but he pulled up. Then the catch is secondary as that ball gets away, and you can see the pained expression on his face.
I should say a surreal.
And I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that. So Adam Eaton now shifts to center.
I have.
And Avi comes in the game and right.
And I got you by a decade,
yeah.
So I haven't.
Pretty amazing.
All right, here's Victor. Victor has walked and gone out deep to center. Tigers have been putting a lot of points on the board. On their last 6 games, averaging what, almost 7.5 runs a game.
Yep, 7.5 runs, a .307 batting average as a team. So offensively, everything coming together.
But it's still just a 3-1 ball game. So let's hold them right here. Take care of Mr. Sanchez. And that's low.
Victor came out of the Cleveland Indian organization, an organization over the years known for bringing up a lot of good hitters.
They kept bringing them up, trading them away. Overall, that was one of the strongest clubs I've ever seen offensively. They could beat you any way you wanted to get beat when they had Alomar and Vizquel. I tell you, they could. Kenny Lofton in center. Boy, what a team that was.
Jim Thome on that ball club?
Yeah. They had, Manny and Albert. They could beat you any way you wanted to get beat. They didn't have hardly any pitching.
Charles Nagy and a bunch of other guys.
That was it. Ball hit into left field. Melky can't get there. So 2 triples, 2 doubles, a single, and it's 4-1.
Here comes Don Cooper. Things were just sailing right along. 2 hits through 4 until this inning. Miguel Cabrera, you see him making sure the ball falls. He still had a chance. If Melky makes a great catch, he's going to be able to get back to second base. But it didn't work out that way.
Here's Upton. Went out to left and then was hit by a pitch and also picked up a stolen base. Two and 0 the count.
That ball way out of the strike zone, and Upton expanded that zone. He's fanned 124 times this year. 99 games, that's a lot of strikeouts.
He's 28 years old now, but when he first came in to the major leagues, he looked like one of the best looking young hitters you ever want to see.
First player picked in the country by the Arizona Diamondbacks. His brother, who was BJ, became Melvin, and he was just traded. He was second player picked in the country. First brother duo that's ever done that.
Yeah, when you're talking about great-looking young hitters coming into the major leagues for the first time, you're talking about, Junior, of course, there, Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry. This guy was one of the best-looking young hitters you ever want to see.
Yes, he was. That had the zone, and Upton a little surprised. Matt Albers loosening in the pen.
And there's a good piece of hitting. But with Victor, he'll stop at third.
Shortened his stroke and hit it through the vacated right side. You see Saladino playing up the middle, nobody home at straightaway second base, so runners at the corners. Still only one out. 6 hits, 26 pitches, 1 sacrifice fly.
Collins 1 for 2, a single. Well, if everything that's going on so far, you'd think it would have been a 7 or an 8 run lead. It's just a 3 run lead, 4-1.
And James was awfully good through 4.
That's popped up. That's not going to get him. Melky getting in shape, but he's not going to go anywhere. But Upton will.
Heads up base running by Justin Upton, knowing that throw was going to come in. To pay attention to Victor, even though Victor doesn't have much speed, he just tagged up and took second base.
Well, here's the thing on that play right there. I'm sure the Tigers are used to that with Victor on third. Okay. And the reason that's a good play is because now Victor, he came down the line a little. He tagged and came down the line a little bit. If he sees that throw going into second base,
he's gonna
now
score.
he can score.
Yeah.
So it was, it's a play for them with Victor's speed. McCann struck out to end last inning. Started this inning off with a triple deep in the center field. Check that. McCann, the 9th place hitter. Romine started it off with that base hit deep in the center field. McCann has gone out to right and struck out swinging in a curveball. Once again, a reminder, Chris Sale tomorrow night against Michael Fulmer. And that game will be over WPWR.
McCann last year at 264, and they all but conceded him the #1 catching job. But this year, the offense has been down. Saltalamacchia, they really like the way he calls a game, so he's getting some play.
Ball took a bad hop, and that's going to score a pair. A 2-run bad hop.
Base hit 2 runs batted in for McCann, who now has 33.
Took that hop right over the glove of Saladino. Well, that's symptomatic. When you're scuffling, you're going bad. Symptomatic. The ball high and deep into right center field. But we got a man there as they put up a big crooked number 6 spot, and they lead it 6-1.
Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile, and it's the left-hander Danny Duffy. Last night at Tampa Bay, he went 8 innings, gave up 1 hit, fanned 16. The only hit, Jennings leadoff double in the 8th inning. And last 10 starts for Danny Duffy, 6-0. So the left-hander finally showing what the Royals thought he could show all along, and getting the most out of himself this year in a down year for the Royals.
Well, if they don't want him, we'll take him.
Yeah, he's got great stuff. Always had that.
He is a very talented young southpaw. Abreu, 1 for 2, a double. Scored a lone run back in the 4th inning. Off the end of the bat. And here's Justin Morneau. Grounder to short and a walk. Get through there, it will. We can get this guy. Let's try to have some fun for the last 4 innings. Tide's 0 for 2. Going out to left and lined hard to center.
Well, the wind that was blowing straight in when the game started has completely died. No factor whatsoever. Good straight change by Anibal Sanchez. We see the flags limp atop the pole. Field Alan Porter, he says nope, did not swing.
Alan Porter, one of the best in the business. Places very quickly. These guys can turn some double plays. That's number 110.
At U.S. Cellular Field feature tickets as low as $5 in the upper level and $15 in the lower level, along with special kid-focused activities. That goes on throughout the ballpark. Plus, parking is available for only $10. Visit whitesox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today. We got a new pitcher is coming to the ball game. It is Matt Albers. So Shields done after 5, gave up 6 runs on 9 hits, a couple of walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit batsman. And it'll be the bottom part of the order. Iglesias, who had a sacrifice fly last inning that tied the game at 1.
'27th Ribby. He also has grounded to second his first trip.
Cleveland was trailing Minnesota 8-0 going into the bottom of the 5th inning. They've scored 6 runs and they're still hitting. It's an 8-6 game.
They got the TWTW going for them.
Yeah, the seemingly when you're down 8-0, there's a lot of teams that might pack it in. The Tribe under Terry Francona is not one of them.
No, they have that will to win. One down.
Another team way down, another team in the middle of it. That's in the National League. San Francisco losing 6-0 to Philadelphia. They tied it at 6, went behind 7-6. Now they lead Philadelphia 8-7. That game in the bottom of the 6th in Philadelphia.
Here's Kinsler. 1 for 3 with the run scored. You know, Kansas City the last 4 years 3 years has been the team with the most TWTW in the American League. And that is so important today. Always has been, but really important today.
Kansas City this year just had their team completely fall apart. It started in our ballpark, really, with the collision between Moustakas and Gordon. Broken bone in his wrist for Gordon, out for the year with a ligament problem in his knee and surgery for Moustakas. Then Kane went on the disabled list. They've had some pitching problems. Now Wade Davis, their closer, on the disabled list. And they were talking about moving him and packaging him with Ian Kennedy to take a big salary out of the equation, but then Davis got hurt, went on the DL, and that's not good for your trade possibilities.
Got him. 2 down. Baltimore shutting out Texas 4-0, top of the 8th at Camden Yards.
Texas has that revamped lineup after a very busy trading deadline acquisition for them.
Well, you know, you try to make the deals that you can say, all right, if we make this, are we going to be a better team for it? If you can, then you make the deal, but you never know with the chemistry. You never know when you get a guy. You try to do as much checking up on it as you can, and you talk with people who know him or scouts who've seen him, or what kind of an attitude he has. Is he a guy that's going to be good in the clubhouse or going to be bad? Because if you get a guy who's bad in the clubhouse today, you got a huge problem on your hand. Huge problem on your hand.
Well, John Daniels did a great job in making those trades because he was able to keep Joey Gallo. He was able to keep Jurickson Profar. Best prospect he gave up was Lewis Brinson, who was 3rd on their depth chart. They had to give him up to get Lucroy from the Milwaukee Brewers.
Lucroy 0 for 2 in that ball game. But Texas, first of all, Jeff Bannister's done a terrific job there, and he is an outstanding individual. But as there is ball 4, but he's got a big break, good speed aboard. He's got a big break, and he's got Adrian Beltre on that ball.
He does have that, and now the lineup is absolutely loaded. So there you look at what it looks like in the West to this point, with Houston doing nothing at the deadline to speak of. 5.5 games back. Seattle 9 games back. It'll be very difficult for the Mariners to think about anything but a wild card.
That ball high and deep into right field. And it's 8-1.
A triple shy of the cycle for the big man. 24th home run. He's driven in 69, 3 tonight on his 3 hits. Matt Albers of late is having a hard time keeping the ball in the ballpark. Forward home run replay the opposite way for one of the league's best. That's the 8th home run Matt's given up in 40 innings. It was indeed a hamstring, a strained left hamstring for Charlie Tilson. So he's going to be reevaluated tomorrow. It just didn't look particularly good. And
well, I was glad he was flexing that knee coming in.
Yeah. An exciting part of the night, the first hit in his major league career. Unfortunately, he has to leave early.
Victor. But the opposite field home run by Miguel Cabrera, winning the 7th, trailing by 7.
Prime time is a fire head west for a battle with Real Salt Lake. Coverage begins at 8:30 on CSN Chicago. You got a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Shane Green. On for the 29th time. It's 1-2, ERA 4.14, but 2 for 2 in save opportunities. So with 35 strikeouts in 37 innings, he's got good stuff. We saw him, liked his arm when he was with the Yankees. Now he's over here. So Anibal Sanchez goes 6. He gives up 1 lone run on 6 hits. He walked 3, and he is the pitcher of record in an 8-1 game.
Yeah, when he was with the Yankees, he impressed us with that slider he had.
Yep.
Watch out. Chuck and duck. Whoop. Got her now 2 for 3.
Yeah, second hit of the night, and with the first hit, first White Sox run scored, and eClick Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
Give me your Matt Albers set his franchise record.
Yep.
Starting off the season, 30 unscored upon appearances.
It was pretty remarkable because everything was moving. I mean, his arm felt great, and he was getting late sink, and it was darting, and nobody could really square it up on the bat, and that happened for, maybe very close to 6 weeks that happened. And then all of a sudden, seemingly he was throwing as hard, but he lost the movement. And
actually, he's throwing a little harder.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes at 92 or 3, when it darts one way or the other, then you get to 95 and it straightens out. But that's really what happened with Matt, and he's still trying to get that movement back.
That ball hit deep, left center field, way back. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A bomb by Avi. And it's an 8-3 ball game. Wow.
One rocket of a line drive, and the next a towering home run. So a Ford home run replay. And that's the 7th for Avi. This is coming against his former mates. He's now driven in 32. And that one into the bullpen, a no-doubter.
So here's Tyler. He's 1 for 2. And of course, with that home run, the Alex Snellius family. A generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Home run number 103 for us. Tigers have 140. But, you know, after he got that big hit.
Indeed. Right, against the Mets in New York.
Yeah. The next pitch he threw after that was 96. That's the highest I've ever seen him. So I'll show you how hard his adrenaline was flowing. And since then, he's had a tough go of it. There's a base hit in the hole. That boy, Tyler.
Well, Shane Green comes on for 3 hits and hasn't retired anybody yet. Been a few big comebacks tonight. No reason why it can't happen here. Brad Ausmus, as he has done many times this year, looking over his pensmen, see who he can use, who he can't use, depending on how frequently they have been used.
Don't stop now, boys, as here's Adam Eaton. He's 1 for 1, a single and a couple of walks. He knows they're not going to get at him, so they get the lead man, 1 down. Yeah, our bullpen in April was the best in the big leagues.
Actually, seemingly till about start of the second week of May. And then all of a sudden, the same guys that were getting everybody out suddenly started to really scuffle as Michael Inoa starts to loosen up.
Well, they didn't have any off days. They had 1
Nope.
in April. Actually only had 2 for the first 6 weeks.
And pitchers don't come close to completing games early, and being 23-10, the bullpen factored very heavy in the early going, and they got a big workload. And unfortunately, then hit the wall.
Yep.
We go back to the Jake Petrichka injury, which is a guy who would come out of that bullpen, sometimes pitch an inning and a third, throw it pretty well, as Justin Wilson starts loosening up.
And Jake also would go out there when he wasn't feeling real good too, and you could see the last 2 outings he made is that ball hit deep into left center field and caught. Justin Upton with a long way to go, and he got there.
Upton was a right fielder most of his career, but shifted over to left field here with the Tigers, and he did make a long run. He cut straight across and then back at the last instant, and he's able to run it down. Adam Eaton has to retreat, and there are 2 outs.
So here is Melky, 0 for 3. He's due. Chopper to Hopper. But the 2-run homer, the long 2-run homer by Avi Garcia, and it's an 8-3 ball game.
beginning at 11:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN Chicago. We got a new pitcher coming in the ball game. It's Michael Inoa. On for the 10th time, 1-0, ERA 3.48. There you look at the numbers. And it's a 5-run Tiger lead. James Shields started the game, went 5. There were 6 runs on 9 hits with a couple of walks and a strikeout. Then it was Albers for 1. 2 runs, a 2-run homer by Cabrera after the walk to Maven. And now Michael Inoa.
Upton, Collins, McCann. Charlie Tilson, for those of you who are just getting home. Tuning in, New Trier High School. First major league at bat, got a base hit right back to the solid base hit right back to the middle. But then pulled that hamstring, and it looks like that's DL for him, the way he was walking.
Yeah, to me, as soon as he went down, he pulled up short trying to get that double by Cabrera. And as soon as he reached back, he grabbed the left hamstring. Looks like he will be shelved for a bit, although he'll be reevaluated tomorrow.
High pop up, watch out. And it's a foul ball. Hope everybody's okay. 3 converging.
It was up there for a long time. It was foul, and nobody could get to it.
Well, the one thing you did would have Tyler get sandwiched in between those two.
Nope. And Jose almost rolled over the baseball, so everybody goes sliding. It'll go as no play, and Upton will have another life.
1-2 the count.
So a night of firsts, and a night that Charlie Tilson will never forget. Takes that fastball away, shoots it by Kinsler. Very exciting moment. He gets the baseball, and then Miguel Cabrera slicing it into the gap, and Charlie pulls up short. He goes down in a lot of pain. He grabs that hamstring, the left hamstring it appeared to be, and we'll know a little bit more tomorrow.
Do you ever have a bad hamstring?
I did. I hurt both a hamstring and a calf muscle at various times, and I got to tell you, the calf muscle was torn and probably came about an eyelash from having to be surgically repaired. The doctor told me it would take between 5 and 6 weeks, and it took 5.5 weeks before I could walk normally again. And a hamstring is one of those things that you can spend a lot of time rehabbing that.
Well, that's the shame.
I mean, with all the excitement, his folks in the crowd,
yeah.
A local guy gets to play for the team he rooted for growing up, and it all looked beautiful until that play in the gap. But I think you're right about getting the call from Charlotte.
Yeah, that's
Carlos Sanchez has been the only guy to stay healthy through a lot of call-ups this year.
You know, my first game with Cleveland after I got traded from Boston to Cleveland. I was playing right field. It's a swamp out there after the Browns got done with it.
That was always the case.
Oh, man. We were playing the Yankees. Joe Pepitone hit a line drive, and I slipped as I was getting to the ball and hit me right in the left kneecap. And when I went down a little funny, and it pulled the hamstring a little bit, but not bad, but just enough to where you knew you'd pulled it. And that's the closest I ever came to pulling a hamstring. And my kneecap hurt for a while. He went for a triple for Joe. And there is ball 4. So Collins draws a walk. And here comes McCann. McCann had a very fortuitous base hit back in the 5th inning. Second, third. 2 out. Hit a ground ball right side that bounced over the glove of Tyler Saladino for a 2-run single. Did hit it pretty hard, though. Pretty good pass on that one, off to the right. Bottom of the 6th in Cleveland. 8-6, Minnesota. Dozier is hit number 20. Kepler is hit number 15. Kepler hit 3 yesterday.
Pretty amazing. I mean, he's a good-looking young
23-year-old, yeah. Yes, it is. Baltimore still leading Texas 4-1. That's on the top of the 8th at Oriole Park. That's a fair ball. Double clutch. Now the long peg in time. 2 now.
One of the things we shouldn't forget is the Major League debut of Jason Coates right here in this park, where he had that collision head on with J.B. Shuck. Had to leave the ball game, took some stitches in his lip. We have, that's 4 guys come up from the minor leagues, and unfortunately Kevin Smith never made it to the post. In pregame warm-ups, stretching, he was taken down in what should have been his Major League debut. That was in Toronto.
Well, just said I've never seen anything like it. You're always seeing stuff in this game of baseball that you've never seen before. I don't care how long you've been in it. Andrew Romine with an 0-2 count. Saw a triple play that first of its kind in Major League history that maybe never will be duplicated again.
I can't see it being duplicated. Not with those numbers involved.
The numbers on that triple play, if you missed it, were 9-3-2, 6-2-5.
Yeah, keep that one because you won't see the likes of that.
Yeah, if you were scoring long in that game.
That got a piece of him. He's going to go to first base.
So here comes Iglesias. Jose 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Everybody else in this lineup has a base hit, but he does have that sacrifice fly.
And some pretty good plays at shortstop tonight.
He's a good one. A real good one.
Boston brought him into pro baseball.
He had 300 last year.
Yeah, the three-way deal. Jake Peavy and Javi Garcia, with Iglesias going to shortstop for the Tigers from Boston. I think that was a big surprise because everybody knew that Iglesias was a terrific fielder. But he was hitting 320 a good portion of last year, but finally settling at 300 right on the button.
Two 2-0 the count with 2 on 2 out. That's high and into the seats right side. Now, Steve told you about the lineup of the Blue Jays taking on Houston. Ronald leading that game 2-0. Home runs by Bautista, number 14, and Encarnacion, number 29, by John Gibbons. Bautista leading off, Donaldson second, Encarnacion third, and Saunders, Michael Saunders, who's having a big year for him, hitting cleanup. 4 big boppers right off the bat. So another hit batsman. That'll load him up without the benefit of a base hit. And here comes Coop. And it's just like, you know, another advantage to that, besides the numbers of who scores first. 65% of the teams that score first win the game. If the home team scores first, it goes up to 69%. But you're always talking about, you got a lot of sinker ballers and starters.
Yeah, more sinker baller starters than you have coming out of the pen.
Right, coming out of the pen, you got some gas coming out of there. But sinker ball starters early in the game.
They're the guys. I mean, that's where they're going to be the most vulnerable, and it's because of what you talked about before, is that surge of adrenaline you get, and that feeling you have for the sinker. You're throwing it too hard. It's not sinking near as much as it will later on. That's why sinker ballers, if you do let them off the hook early, they got a very good chance of a successful game deep into the ball game.
So here's Kinsler. Sacks packed, 2 out. I know in 1983, when the Sox started off so poorly and then came back, one of the big moves offensively in that lineup, James, was putting Carlton Fisk in the 2-hole.
At the time, that was a pretty controversial move.
Very controversial, and all it did was work out.
Garrison Fulmer loosening up in a hurry in the pen. Good spot to hit in for Kinsler in that 2-0. Pitcher struggling with his control. You absolutely know 100% you're going to get a fastball. He just got around a little too quickly on it.
Well, he can do that. Checks it up. So 2-2.
I'd assume as a hitter you had to hate that. It's going to be 3-1 because you're going to lay off the pitch, and all of a sudden you can't get your bat out of the way and you foul it off, and now it's 2-2.
Base hit. That's going to score a couple more.
Get rid of it now, Melky. He looked home. He looked to second. He looked back home and looked to second. Nothing he could do with it. So the walk, one of the two hit batsmen come home to score, and Kinsler is now driven in 59 as a leadoff hitter.
So it's 10-3. So 2 runs on just 1 hit. Well, talk about that move that Tony made with Carlton Fisk in '83 to get the club, change it around, because they weren't scoring any runs. They weren't hitting at all. Well, Fisk was in the 2-0. He had 324, 24 homers, and drove in 76. Pretty good for a 2-hole hitter. Meanwhile, 2 more across the plate, and it is Detroit big.
It's something, but to be #1 in the world in a combination of 3 sports for over 2 years is incredible. Wisconsin native Gwen Jorgensen is a triathlete who had her medal hopes dashed at the 2012 London Games by an untimely flat tire on the bike portion of her race. All eyes are on Gwen to win gold in Rio, and Chuck Garfien has a story of Jorgensen's road to redemption tonight on Sportsnet Central after White Sox postgame live. We got a new pitcher coming into the game. It is Justin Wilson. 2-3. 3.46 ERA. Been a busy man in those 44 appearances.
So here's Abreu. Tigers by 7. They lead at 10-3. Takes first pitch strike. I was reading some news on my iPad this afternoon before coming to the ballpark. The ball hit hard. Oh, nice play. Wow. Romine with a beautiful play right there. The only way you can make it is have it down.
Yeah, that shows you why Romine is put into the game late for defense. And he's one of those guys that can play anywhere. That's a terrific play. That ball's ticketed for left field. Comes up with the hop and robs him of a base hit.
I think it was on USA Today on my iPad, or yes, Justin can't get it. Or no, he's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk, or flipboard. It said there are 5 things more dangerous in Rio than the Zika.
Well, the water's one of them.
That was the first one.
They
said do not put your head
Nope.
underwater when you go to the beach there. Do not put your head underwater. And they listed the 5 things They listed traffic accidents. They listed muggings after dark.
Yeah.
But water was number one.
Well, they showed it last night. Program on HBO, Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. They did a story on it. It was unbelievable. I mean, you took a look at that water, and there's raw sewage poured into the water. It's right there for you to see. Here it is, untreated. We're talking to some of the racers from all over the world that have come in, and they were going over the course. They run into couches in the water as they're racing on the racing course. Couches and bottles and everything you could think of, and then they show you where it's thrown in. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
There's a strike, full count. Yeah, the water was the first one. Don't stick your head underwater. Don't drink it.
Yeah, for the triathletes, not a great thing.
This young left-hander has given us trouble every time we've seen him.
He's having a good year.
We saw him with the Yankees, and we didn't do anything against him.
Throws that fastball down out of the zone, but at 96, you don't have a whole lot of time to adjust.
So here's Todd. He's 0 for 3. He just missed one in the first inning. Check that first at bat, second inning. Just underneath it, high in the left field. There's a breaking ball strike. Then he hit a line shot right at Cameron Maben in center field. Then he hit the ball sharply, 6-4-3 double play. They won't catch that one. You can put it on the board. Yes. That's number 30. Just a rocket out of here.
.30 and 68 on the power numbers. Ford home run replay. And that's a line drive rocket.
Could have hung out all the drawers in Cook County on that one. So there's the honor.
It's only his second home run of the year that Wilson has given up.
The honor's 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. So the second straight 30 home run season, 35 last year with Cincinnati, 30 this year so far. Pops him up short left center. Everybody converging now as Maben with that good speed of his slides, makes a beautiful play, and it'll retire the side. So we pick up one on the home run, the 30th by Todd Frazier.
A new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Carson Fulmer. So Shields for 5, Albers for 1, Ynoa for 1, and now Fulmer comes in the game. There's a look at the numbers on for the 6th time. ERA, a little inflated.
So here is Cabrera.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is the home run to right center field. Big man hit it in the 6th.
He's got a great little move out there that he knows it's nothing to hit the ball in those seats out there and right center here.
No, that's
for him.
For him, very easy to do.
Yeah. He doesn't overswing. He just more or less pushes. He just like shoves the ball into the air. He hit it out just like that. But Avi gets there, catches that one. That's a hang wiffle. Just shoves it to the right.
Fortunately, just enough room.
It's almost like he doesn't even release on it.
Nope.
Just shoves it.
Yeah, had he hit that ball a little bit more to straightaway right field, it's another home run.
Yeah. He's just one of my all-time favorite players to watch play. Has fun and can really play. Victor 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Two and one. That was a strike. Didn't get it. But Tom Payne has had a good game on the plate.
Yeah, I think he's done a nice job.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, nobody really looking back and doing a whole lot of complaining.
No. And it is 11-4.
For Victor. Second extra base hit of the night. Second run batted in of the night. For the Tigers, who came in averaging 7.5 runs in their last 6 games, a 6-game winning streak. They put 11 up there tonight. And that fastball in the inside part of the plate and gone.
So here's Upton. He's 1 for 3. Also with a really nice play. A good catch out there in left center. Off the bat of Tim Anderson. Had a long way to go on. I don't know if he was going to get there, but he did. Beats that little breaking ball back through the middle.
Upton's coming around at the right time for these Tigers. We're making a pretty good push. 1.5 games out of the wild card and only 4 games back of Cleveland coming in for the division.
What did we say Sunday? At that time last year, not last year, in 05, we had a 15.5 game lead on Cleveland. And they closed it within 1.5 at one time. Before we eventually swept them in that 3-game series to win it by 6. So, yeah, this thing is far from being over. But Cleveland certainly did not hurt themselves in that trade market yesterday.
No, getting Andrew Miller.
And matching him up with Cody Allen's pretty good tandem out there.
And what Terry Francona said right away was he's going to use him interchangeably. He's not going to say that Cody Allen won't be his closer anymore. He's not going to say that Andrew Miller will be his closer, but he'll go situationally. You got 2 really good pitchers. Cody Allen needs some help because he was wearing down.
Well, he's got it. There's a strike. 3-1 to count. Collins 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored.
We'll take a look at some of the trades yesterday. Lucroy and Beltran to the Rangers. Liriano in a late deal, along with Feldman to the Blue Jays. Brendan Geyer, along with Andrew Miller to the Indians. And Steve Pearce, Fernando Abad, and in the National League, Reddick and Hill from Oakland to the Dodgers. Matt Moore to the Giants, along with Will Smith, talented left-hander. Moore, a really good starting pitcher. Jay Bruce to the Mets. Joe Smith to the Cubs. Ivan Nova to the Pirates.
McCann 1 for 4. High souvenir right side. Well, it appears that Brian Cashman finally may have gotten his wish.
Which was?
Break it down.
Start again.
Start it over.
He's got
That's an old club.
He got some really good young talent, though. I mean, he got a lot of other folks' farm systems back for the pieces that he had.
How long has it been since we've seen the Yankee club break it down and start over?
60s, maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what. After the '64 season, Yankees beat out the White Sox by 1 game that year. That's out number 2. In a close race, Yankees beat out the White Sox by 1 game, and then lost to the Cardinals in the World Series. Now, starting in 65, 66, 67, 68, they weren't that good. They were not that good. We used to, if we played them a 4-game series when I was in Boston, we played them 4-game series. We were upset if we didn't win at least 3. And so it's been a while since they broke it down and started again. Mantle's last year was 68. Played the last game he ever played against us at Fenway Park. Last day of the season, pinch hit. And we knew we were all crying out there because we all love McKeon. we knew also that that was the end of a Yankee dynasty, so to speak. Romine with 2 on 2 out and a 2-1 count.
Romine's had a good night. Hit by a pitch, scored a run, triple, scored a run, made a real good play at third base. A couple of those, so.
Solid night.
Yep, done well. A lot of pitches this inning for Carson. His 26th on the way.
You're just tuning in, 11-4 they're on top. He gone. And we're into the 9th.
Miller Time brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's an excruciatingly long 5th inning. Cameron Maben with a double down the line. Victor Martinez with another double. And it keeps on rolling right along, turned into a 6-run, 7-hit 5th inning. Those are our Miller moments.
And here we go with top of the 9th, the 11, 13, and 0. For them, 14 and 0 for us. They have started 9. We have started 6.
And Mark Lowe comes in, and he's had a disastrous year. 8.55 ERA.
That ball hit high and deep. You can put it on the board. Yes. Hey, bomb another one. He's been to the plate twice and hit 2 bombs.
That one was hit a mile. He just got a fastball. He got it seemingly right down the middle. And the woes for Mark Lowe continue. 4th career multi-homer game. This is a Ford home run replay. And this one, a no-doubter. He got every bit of that.
Wow, that was impressive. And here's Saladino. He's 2 for 3. Well, we've said it before. We'll say it again. Avisail Garcia is the closest thing that we have had to a 5-tool player. I know since the best chance to be the 5-tool player. Brian Anderson had a chance but didn't get there. But Avi's got a chance to get there.
Strength is not the issue.
Or speed.
He's got a whole lot of that.
I think at this point in his young career, which is still in his infancy, he just got to stay with what. Just got to stay with what Steverson Todd tells him to do. Even through the bad times, you got to stay. You got to pick a plan to stay with it. Can't deviate from it. You got to stay the course with it. To get away from mechanics, you got to have some way. You got to have some plan, some approach to get you off mechanics, because that, in my opinion, is what's been hurting him. He can't get off the mechanics. Todd's tried to give him an approach. There's the strike. You know, Avi started off the season really swinging about well, and then got away from it. If you put those two together, that's a lot of footage out there.
Well, Avi came in when Charlie Tilson got hurt, had to leave the game. Avi came up, had 2 at-bats, had 2 home runs and 3 driven in.
Yeah, that is Mike and Dino Spadali, Matt Nykiel, Leo Brady. Tommy Sheridan's picked a click in that spot.
There's a man who got it done for you.
It's all there. It's all there. You can run and throw. And they got to put him in deeper in that outfield when he's out there so he doesn't get uptight a little bit. The only thing he's got to worry about at that point is coming in.
Well, for a guy that didn't think he was going to play tonight, certainly not get 2 at-bats, he's made the most of the 2 he's had.
Did you ever make a spot start?
Sure.
How'd you pitch?
Usually pretty well.
Yeah.
Well enough to go back into the bullpen and have them forget about me for a while until I had to make another spot start.
Well, that was my point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes you do better when you don't think you're going to be there.
Full count.
Time now for our PNC Bank upcoming schedule. It's 2 more here with the Tigers, and then over the weekend, the very good Baltimore Orioles come to town. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon.
Here's Tim. Tim has hit the ball very hard twice tonight. He's 0 for 4.
The last thing Brad Ausmus wants to do is have to go out and take Mark Lowe out of this game, but the bullpen is up and going. Frankie Rodriguez, their closer, starting to throw.
That's off the plate. One of the few that Tom Payne has missed tonight. If you see as many pitches as he's seen, though, you're going to miss a few.
There's been a lot thrown in this 11-5 game. Been 24 hits.
Sale against Michael Fulmer. Check that. Yeah, Michael Fulmer tomorrow. That game will be over. WPWR. And a full count. Two down.
Takes a little something off. Doesn't do a whole lot, but he gets it by him.
That's the last thing that Tim was looking for right there, was a high straight change. So here's Melky, 0 for 4. Takes a strike. 30,316. Tonight, the average 31,292. Three and one.
Jose in the on deck circle as Melky tries to keep it alive.
And this ball game is over. So the Sox come in here. And Steve, James Shields, first 4 innings was really good against a red-hot Tiger offense, but they got him in the 5th.
Yeah, they ran into a buzzsaw in the 5th inning, gave up the 6 runs, charged with the loss. So the Tigers win the first of the series, their 7th win in a row, and we'll be right back at it tomorrow night.
All right, so for my partner Steve Stone, our Hall of Fame director Jim Angier, our future Hall of Fame producer Mike Leary, also our associate producer Dave Ross, very fine technical manager Mark Harper, and also for Jason Lynch, Dan Lavelle, Warren Wilson, Mark Stacy, and Jeff Morrell, and the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hall. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.